was happy in the haze of a drunken hour.
Hello everybody, if you don't know us, we are Camila and Diana and welcome to This Business section about the Industrial Revolution.
We are very happy to bring us this topic, so with nothing more to say, let's talk about Industrial Revolution and all the consequences it had on the business area.
It is a super interesting topic and it is linked to many areas, but it is time we only focus on mathematics, history, and of course business.
Well, let's get start before we get any longer. Go get a coffee or something. I recommend some fire chips. They are always good, so you can enjoy while you listen.
Well, we have to start.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just had a craving for some chips anyway. Something you probably didn't know is that my friend Camille is an expert on the subject, and it's not because we paid for 3 midterms made us to do projects on this anyway.
Of course, I'm obviously an expert, so ask me anything.
Yes, it is true. First, tell us what happened in the Industrial Revolution and why was it produced.
First, we need to context. As in all good gossips, the Industrial Revolution was a process of economic, social, and technological transformations that began in the second half of the 18th century in the Kingdom of Great Britain, spread a few decades later, much of Western Europe and the Americans, and finally conclude between 1820 and 1840.
Oh, yes, I remember that this period resulted in the greatest incorporation of economic, technological, and social transformations in the history of mankind, right?
Yes, that is correct. That period saw the transition from a rural economic based primarily on agriculture and trade to an urban, industrialized, and mechanized economy.
So that is why nowadays most, if not all, companies use machines instead of people, or if there are people, there are only a few.
Yes, that was a big impact and caused many to lose their jobs.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, if you think about it more, it's not so bad because eventually people adapt and it also improves the economy of the countries, which improves living conditions.
Yes, you said it.
Now that I remember, going back to the subject, both agriculture, production, and active industry multiplied at the same time as production time decreased, and according to Google, from 1,800. Wealth and income per capita multiplied as never before in history, since gross domestic product per capita had remained practically the same for centuries.
Wait, did you get that from Google?
Yes, but not from Wikipedia, so it's okay.
Yeah, I think so. Now, to close the subject, the transition began at the end of 18th century in the textile industry, as well as the extraction and use of coal. The expansion of trade was made possible by the development of communications with the constructions and railroads, canals, and roads.
I conclude by saying that the change from a mainly agricultural economy to an industrial one had a great influence on the population, which grew rapidly, especially in urban areas. Now let's continue with how the Industrial Revolution had an important impact on business and commerce around the world.
Let's start with the fact that England enjoyed an abundance of capital because of its commercial supremacy. It became a world power due to the growth on machinery that made it possible to create objects faster than before.
I read that the wool fabric changed to cotton and trade began between the United States and the United Kingdom for the commercialization of raw materials. The metallurgical industry had a great advance due to the use of fossil fuels, improving the quality of products, streamlining process, and allowing the creation of new goods on a large scale.
The Industrial Revolution transformed the economy from one based on agriculture to one based on manufacturing.
A lot of aspects changed in companies during the Industrial Revolution, like substantial increase in work output, the cost of production decrease, use of energy sources other than coal, gasoline, electricity, and steam, the invention of new machines that made it possible to optimize production with less human labor, a new work organization, and increased applications of science in industry.
And there are just some examples because more things change.
Yes, I know. It is unbelievable how trade has changed.
The Industrial Revolution was a process of change and profound transformation in all economic, social, cultural, and technological areas.
And all because the population had grown.
I was just reading about a magazine business named John Araki, and he has a business called Utopia, a resort located on the island of Ratu in the Pacific Islands. It offers an unforgettable experience, and some stars frequent the resort.
Oh, really? I think I heard about the resort too. I thought it was amazing.
It has a good reputation because of their environmental friendly policies and their coffee.
Some years ago, a natural disaster damaged many of the villas, so the booking decreased and Utopia faced a financial loss due to the lack of bookings, the cost of repairs, and the debts Utopia already had. Even so, not all was lost, because John is also the owner of Jack, a coffee in Ratu.
If you want your business to achieve success, I will suggest you have to a diverse product portfolio and not to depend on just one product or service, and will start doing a SWOT analysis where you know the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits that your business has and will lead you to an answer matrix.
I totally agree with you, and I think everything that you just explained will be very useful for everybody that wants to open a business or that wants to make it more profitable.
Okay, after a brief introduction of what the Industrial Revolution was, we will talk about the Industrial Revolution helped with more than just history and business.
Let's start with mathematics. Mathematics is everywhere, from kitchens to buildings.
Exactly, but few people knows that many of the foundation of mathematics have their roots in the Industrial Revolution. Many formulas that now help us do mathematical procedures had their birth here.
So today we will also talk about how the Industrial Revolution helped mathematics to flourish.
I don't know what flowers have to do with it, but hey, I'm all ears.
You see, as long since the Renaissance, mathematicians were already starting to discover things. For ecclesiastical reasons, they were prevented from promising this information.
Oh yes, let me add something that is why monarchies start to fall and society has more critical and thinking aspects. Mathematicians began to let their thoughts and ideas run more freely, making ideas that may seem impractical or impossible for humans become formidable and helpful for mankind.
Basically, they were artists but with numbers. With all this led to several discoveries. At the same time, they made formulas and mechanisms for the machines and companies that were being created.
It's interesting because these were the first steps for the classes that at this point in our lives causes headache and want to us drop off high school.
Yes, basically yes. Not true, teacher Juan. We will like your class, even if it makes us cry at night for not understanding a subject. Sorry.
Yes, does make us cry.
Well, but leaving aside the fact that geometry takes away our desire to continue studying, I want to mention three discoveries that to this day help us to solve exercises.
Excellent, please Janita, explain to us.
First, the intermediate value theorem. It is a theorem about continuous real functions defined on an interval. Intuitively, the result states that if a function is continuous on an interval, then it takes all intermediate values between the extremes of the interval. Second, the normal distribution. The importance of experimental results, such as medical tests and in Bayes' last theorem. Bayes' theorem permeates for everyday life, from scientific discoveries to autonomous cars. Bayes' theorem is a conceptual engine that pulls from much of our modern world.
Well, it's very interesting to see how the Industrial Revolution marked a before and after in a society, from how it improved mathematics to be able to advance and reach discoveries that at this moment save lives, to how were the first step of the people shooting and fighting to be recognized.
Yes, it could even be said that they were the first steps of women revolutionaries, as was Sarah Chapman, known for her mention in a Netflix movie that we do not mention by copyright.
This is not YouTube.
Oh well, Enola Holmes, the movie.
Production 10 of 10.
Of course.
Leaving aside the obviously Enola Holmes propaganda, we want to thank you for listening to 10 minutes of this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I get tired just thinking about hearing 10 minutes of Industrial Revolution. Well, it's not true, teacher Pedro, at all.
Well, goodbye. Thank you again.
Bye.
I was happy in the haze of a drunken